Hey everybody, this is Christina Delgado. It is February 27th. I am not going to waste any time on this call by giving you a laundry list of things that are happening, of giving you a pep talk on hitting Success Club. You already know that you're supposed to be doing that. You know it's the 27th of the month. You know that you only have about 29 hours to hit Success Club. I'm not going to remind you of that, but I just did. So make sure that you guys are hustling, that you are focused and doing your follow-ups. And of course, we'll ask our guest, our very special guest speaker, about what she would do if she had 29 hours or so to hit Success Club, and how would she pull it through. But we'll wait till the end of the call to do that, and I'm sure you guys are going to be excited to hear because she's a Success Club rock star. But let me just give you a brief introduction. I don't want to mess up her story because she delivers her story in such an incredible and powerful way. But our guest speaker tonight is Miss Tulin Emre. She is a 5-star Diamond Elite Coach, Success Club 10 legend, who has lost well over 100 pounds because of Beachbody. She'll go into that a little bit more, but she truly is one of the most inspirational coaches in our network. She inspires me daily. I follow her on Instagram, and when I feel like I don't want to work out, like I don't want to push play, I just look at Tulin's account, and she reminds me to get off my ass and go get my sweat on. She is powerful. She's a force, and I'm so honored to call her my friend. We are sisters in hair. We like the crazy hair. Hers is a tad bit crazier than mine. I got to give her that. But you guys, I'm just going to turn it over. Let her inspire the heck out of you. Miss Tulin Emre, you can take over.
Oh my gosh, you guys, I am so excited to be on a Diesel Nation call. You guys realize you're legendary, right? Like, you guys are legendary. And with such an amazing intro, I have to tell you that, okay, give me one sec. When I was in a deep, dark time last year, it was your coach that pulled my ass out of it, not because she talked to me directly, because she just shared this piece of her journey. And and there are many videos that she shared, but there's one that really stuck. You know, when you see that video that just hits you, or that bit of training, I might look a little wonky because I actually like to look at all you guys while I talk to you. So while it looks like that maybe I'm staring off someplace else, I actually look at your faces, and I know like I'm supposed to do this and stare in the camera, but it's just not my thing. I have to look at you guys, and I want you to know that I really had to rebuild a team last year. And I watched a video of hers, and it sparked me, and it stuck with me. And I probably watched it about 4 times because she was so willing to be so transparent and so willing to share under the hood the reality of this business. And so when she asked me about this call, I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, she's like such a superstar to me. I think we literally worlds collided because of our hair. But I think just over time as the business grows, I'm so proud to have her representing us with the cab and just the things that she's doing and how she handles things. You guys are very, very fortunate, but I guess as Beachbody, we're all really blessed because we have so much access to amazing leadership that's willing to share their stories. Thank you, Amy. I appreciate that. I will take that compliment in and receive it, because receiving compliments are difficult. So thank you. And then I'll put period on it, right? Like, compliments are hard to receive. So thank you for saying that. So I'm going to ask a really odd question because I want to make sure that you guys get the most out of this call. And this is a weird question, but do you guys know my story? Like, how many of you guys know my broke and homeless story? And if you don't, if you guys comment, just let me know. But I'm just trying to get a vibe because you don't know. Okay. All right, cool. Okay, awesome. I don't know, because when that video, perfect. You're like, who's this chick? So Beachbody did a video about our journey. And that video was shot like 2 years ago at this point. And so I never know who's actually seen it or not. And so I don't want to reiterate my broken homeless story, but I'm going to tell you about where I started. So, you know, have you guys have gotten that really big no like that really big, it's almost like borderline FU no. Like, so, can I say that? I can see it on Christina's call, right? Okay, cool. I'm just checking. I'm pretty sure that was positive. I was okay. Like that really big FU no, I was that person. Did you ever reach out to that person that's like, what are you trying to sell me? Or I'm not interested in what you have to sell, or yeah, that was me. But on the flip side, because I was over 350 pounds, I wasn't sharing really at that point, but really in my journey, I didn't really start sharing. It was about 330 pounds. And you might think, oh, it's because she lost the weight and she was ready to start sharing. No. I had lost about 50 pounds and put it back on because of work, right? Like I found a reason to put it back on. And for me, I started sharing my journey because I had no support system and we didn't have anything. And we are the broken homeless story. And I have to tell you up front, I didn't tell people we were going broken homeless. Like I didn't tell people that. So people think, oh, she's really open and vulnerable on her social media and things like that. I need you to understand that everything that you've seen I've done in my business has taken a long time, and it has all evolved over time. So when we were going broken homeless, and this is a part of my story I didn't begin sharing until just recently. I heard Brett and Shalene talk on stage about some issues that they ran into in their business. And I always just really assumed that they just like really sucked at powder blue and things went south, but that wasn't it at all. And I realized, people must really think that our business, that the reason why we went broken homeless, because we really sucked at what we were doing. What we didn't have was a strong attorney on our team, and we didn't know what we were doing. And we had a business partner who couldn't handle the success. My husband was the largest distributor of books and movies on eBay and Amazon. They were killing it. Talk about saturated market. We'll talk about books, movies, DVDs as a saturated market. We don't believe in saturated markets. Saturated market means to me demand. Okay. So whenever it says it's a saturated market, I call it BS, because that just means a high demand for what you do.
And if you're using that as an excuse, you're lazy.
Yes. My husband in the background, use that excuse, you're being lazy. But the reality is our business shut down because he couldn't handle the success. Drugs got in the way. He was blocked out of accounts, and he threatened to kill 40 employees on on Christmas Eve, our largest day. And I looked at my husband and I said, if you shut down the business, I support you. We literally barricaded ourselves in the office. And when you go through lawsuits, even though you have nothing to do with anything that's going on, they're business partners. You are involved in the lawsuits, and everybody's slinging mud left and right. Even though you have nothing to do with anything, you're just putting all this money into going through the process. And in that process, we lost everything we own. And if you get a chance to watch that YouTube, it's actually it's a Team Beachbody on YouTube. Watch the video. There's a picture in there that you will never get out of your mind, and I completely forgot about. I don't even know why I snapped the picture, but it's the picture of us driving away from our home, knowing that the sheriff was coming, leaving a lot of stuff behind. We were just telling Mary the kind of like bags, people love their like big fancy bags. You'd be shocked what we left behind, because they lost all value to us. If I couldn't sell it, it stayed. And we literally had to leave the house. My kids didn't experience the sheriff coming to your house, kick you out. And, but that was it. We went broken homeless because somebody couldn't handle their success, and we didn't know how to handle it. In hindsight, we could have done it differently, but I guess at the end of the day, I'm really grateful for that, because it humbled us. And it led us here. And while I have an extensive business background in Beachbody, I brought a lot to Beachbody in my background. But how do I say this? I really had no hope or trust or saw value in Beachbody. As a matter of fact, my husband tried to talk me into Shakeology for a year and a half. And I'm like, you want to pay how much for a magic bag of powder? No. Somebody had given us some to try, like they didn't want to take it because they're pregnant. Check this out. They didn't want to take it because they're pregnant. They need to do the research. We ended up with Shakeology. I'm like, do you want this crap? He's like, yeah. So I drank some here and there, didn't do anything about it. Wasn't even committed to it at all. I mean, like I tasted it and I'm like, ew, it doesn't taste like a McDonald's milkshake. So clearly I'm not going to drink this. And I didn't want to put anything healthy in my body, because anything healthy just tastes like crap, because I was used to eating crap. So when we finally decided to do this, the thing that was really important is that a lot of people had approached me because I was fat, and you might go, oh my gosh, call yourself fat. I own that. It's an appropriate adjective, and I don't see it as a negative, in that that's what I had on my body. And people really saw me as a target. So everybody wanted to sell me their product. Everyone. So it's like I had a big WL on my forehead. She clearly wants, or LW, she clearly wants to lose weight. Clearly. But the reality was, you guys, I didn't. What I wanted to do was be able to live. And I came from an industry where if you really loved yourself, then it didn't mean that you had to work out or watch what you eat. A lot of people don't realize my extensive background in the plus size industry. And when I went into that industry as a plus size model, as a working plus size model, not an Instagram plus size model, I went into that because I was tired of the media's portrayal of what beauty was. And I was actually boxing at the time. I was sparring in the ring when I got signed to be a model. And we had a community that we can go to and be ourselves, but it wasn't about, the philosophy was different. It was just about learning to love yourself as you are. But the industry started to change that if you really love who you are, then you don't care what you eat, you don't care if you exercise. And I am ashamed to admit that I was part of that, and I helped create that culture, and I lived that culture. And then I realized we were making a big mistake, and that's not what this industry is about. Now, I'm not putting down the plus size industry or the term plus size. I honor that. That is part of who I am. Some people say it's a negative. I'm like, then you've never been plus size. You've never tried to go find clothes and not be able to find them because there wasn't anything for you. So plus size really opened the door for us for clothing. And then at the end of the day, it really opened the door for fitness, because people who are plus size looking for something, like you need something, you got to struggle. You're going to go look for that thing, right? Lupus, Lyme, you know, whatever it is. For me, it was plus size. And so it's been a real blessing in my life in so many different ways. I've been helping women in different incarnations for years. But when I came into Beachbody, I was lost. I was lost. And my support system said what I was doing was bad for plus size women. I was told that I shouldn't share on social media. And at the time, anybody in my industry that was sharing, including models, would have lost jobs. I've had that happen to me in the past when I modeled. But when I went in on the business side of things, it was really, really taboo. And I said, I'm out. I'm not doing this. And my husband put it beautifully. He said, real friends don't let their friends not be able to walk up a city block in New York. I literally could not walk up half a city block. I had great friends that I could eat with. I had great friends that I could love the body that I was in. But was I really loving it if I was refusing to take care of it? And for me, I was refusing to take care of it. And that's just my honest truth. And it wasn't until we were living in a hotel, paid the car note because, you know, in case we couldn't continue staying in the hotel. My husband tried to drag me. You guys have to watch the video. My husband tried to drag me to work out. I didn't want to do it. It wasn't until we finally got this little rundown apartment, and I'm talking about with mice. So understand, we had 2 BMW convertibles and a Range Rover in a 3,000 square foot house. Okay, just under 4. It was huge. To a hotel room that was 300. It was bigly. To a hotel room that we were crawling over each other, to a apartment that had mice and mold, and we were just so glad to be in there. We had nothing. Our furniture came from garage sales and dumps. Some people are like, oh, I love garage sales, DIY. Listen, nobody was buying this stuff, okay? Like, it was pretty much for free. It could have been like on the side of somebody's house, like just whatever it took to try to create a life. Well, the place that we found was a second story. My husband has multiple sclerosis, and the stress of everything that we went through, my husband lost the ability to walk. And I watched him in our hotel rooms while I ate Chinese food in front of him and the big extra large Coke from McDonald's and probably the 3 Haagen-Dazs bar. I get really mad at him because he'd do P90X on his hands and knees because he couldn't stand. And he was in front of the only TV I had access to. And so he really wanted me to join him. I'm like, nope, I'm not doing that stuff. But I watched him on his hands and knees. Well, he didn't know he was quietly inspiring me because he figured out a way to get stuff done. And so I remember I was trying to walk up the steps to this apartment that we got. Like, how do they not check our credit? Like, how did this happen? And we just had to take it as a blessing from God. I was ashamed to admit that I was having a hard time walking up the steps. I had a hard time getting off the couch, not because I was being lazy. I physically could not, from my middle and my breasts and my fat around my neck, physically could not get my center of gravity forward to lift myself up off the couch. And people can easily say, well, it's because you've been lazy. You're lazy. That's why you gained the weight. I was working 18-hour days, 48 hours straight at the end of every single month, making $2 an hour. I went back and figured it out because it wasn't about how much money I made. It was about getting food in my kid's tummy. You're talking about bank account that was overdrawn 3 weeks out of the month. Couldn't be 4 because then they would completely shut it down. Cars repossessed from in front of us. I mean, We finally got another car, and that was taken away. Everything just gone, or we couldn't hold on to it on the verge of eviction. So here I am trying to walk up the steps. Halfway up, I lose my breath. The world starts to go gray, and I have to take a break. And when I get to the top of the steps, I literally feel like I'm going to pass out. And I don't have you ever had the wind taken out of you, like knocked out of you? Okay, well, how about having it slowly sucked out of you, walking up 12 steps leading up to the landing of your apartment? So much so that you now have to walk across the landing, which is rather short. You've got 2 kids that are excited about their day at school, and you don't have the oxygen to go through your vocal cords to say, wait. I had nothing left. I knew I was in bad cardiovascular shape. This guy, Jimmy Hayes Nelson online, just had nice stuff to say to me. He didn't bring up his weight loss group. He didn't tell me about if you want motivation, et cetera, et cetera. He just had something nice to say. And finally, I looked at my husband. I'm like, okay, if we're going to try this, I have this friend that sells it, but we're going to buy it from the stranger because we're returning it in 30 days. The very last second, I decided that I was going to sign up because I finally figured out how I can kind of do this in the case there was something to this, but I was pretty certain there wasn't. I signed up. I wanted the commission. It doesn't have to make sense, you guys. I wanted the commission to roll up, so my husband signed up underneath me. We were going to starve to death. We used our whatchamacallit money, our grocery money, our budget. There's no budget. It's just money and food. And as a matter of fact, that came from selling my ring. And my ring paid for some things that we needed. And including the 2 bags of Shakeology, I just really hoped that they would return the money back to us quickly. At this point, you guys, I was already 5 weeks into insanity. I had committed to 2 weeks of purely movement, and I was not going to change the way I eat. They ran in place. I sort of marched in place. If I raised my knee 1 inch, my belly was halfway down my thighs. If I raised my knee anymore, if I was able to, it would push all the fat in my belly all the way up into my chest, into my neck. So I was physically unable to do that. If they jumped, I swayed. I got 2 minutes done, 3 minutes done. I felt on the verge of vomiting all the time, you guys. I did not have the cardiovascular ability to do this, but I had to save my life. It was halfway through insanity that we got from a garage sale that I decided to go ahead and do the sign up, get this crazy Shakeology, and return it in 30 days. I mean, like, there couldn't have been more notes around the house to remind me because that money was vitally important. Little did I know it would change our lives. And it took me about 30 days to realize it was changing our lives. As a huge skeptic. And the only reason why I signed up with Jimmy was for 2 reasons. One, his wife had a blog post that said, "Is this a pyramid scheme?" It's like, aha. And I really liked what she had to say. And the other thing was, Jimmy was a stranger, so if I returned it on him, I could still sleep at night because it wasn't my friend. But I thought, what if there was something to this business? Like, what if there is? Because you guys, at the end of the day, we maybe didn't have anything, but we did have a glimmer of hope, and it looked a lot like a candle flickering in the great distance. Sometimes it was off, sometimes it was on, and just when you started to give up on hope, it would flicker back on. And it was just such a speck in the distance, and that's kind of how I felt about this. What if there was something to this? And there was. There was. It took me a long time to get past my attitudes. I didn't have a Facebook following, a social media following. I didn't have anything. I didn't have a support system around me. As a matter of fact, I'm not saying there weren't other plus-size women working out online sharing the journey, but when I went looking for what I needed in my life and what I was struggling with, I could not find her. And when I was ready to quit, that was the first video I put up, I realized I don't have anyone to turn to. I don't have anyone as an example. I'm just going to start sharing my journey online for my own personal accountability, as my own journal, because nobody's going to read my shit anyways. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Nobody loves me. Nobody cares what's going on in my life. And little by little, Christina, we're friends on Facebook. I have, and I tell people don't like it or comment on it, but I have my first 14 days on my Facebook page, and it's called Insanity in the Membrane. Hello, Cypress Hill. And it's my 14 days, and some of it I can't understand what I was writing, but I set like these goals, and I just committed to 14 days of movement. And I was that discount coach, completely discount, return my stuff, coach, anti-Shakeology. But you have to get it to get it. And when I got it, I couldn't deny about 30 days the changes started happening. And the changes started happening after the 14 days, and I realized, okay, there might be something to this, was I naturally wanted to start eating better things. I was a type 2 diabetic. My blood sugar wasn't dropping as drastically. I had massive debilitating migraines. They seemed to be getting better. So I started being able to better connect. When I eat like crap, I feel like this. But when I put this dense nutrition in my body, I feel entirely different. And it was the first time that I had something that was so dense and nutritious in my body that I was able to directly compare it to Chinese food, McDonald's, Pizza Hut, Haagen-Dazs on one day, right? Because remember, we can't afford to eat healthy. Yeah. You start eating a lot more of that stuff. So when I eat the really crappy stuff, how I felt and how I felt when I had the dense nutrition. And I couldn't deny how I felt. And as I was sharing my journey online, it slowly began to inspire some other people. Did I tell you I was over 330 pounds at this point? So I was a product of the product, but being a product of the product doesn't mean you have to be a finished product of the product, right? Like I was on a journey and I was willing to share it, and I didn't think anybody was paying attention, and I didn't have the following that I have today at all. My business grew with very little around me. No warm market. Nobody wants to hang out with a broken homeless family. We might need something like bless and release, because there's no manual that tells you how to deal with people who lose everything, right? So they didn't know. And yes, I love that. Being a product doesn't mean you have to be a finished product of the product. And that's so true, you guys. People who have excessive amounts of weight to lose can easily find it again. And the reality is this journey is like one big spaghetti bowl. But what I began to realize with Shakeology, and what I began to realize with Beachbody, and I began to realize in fitness and then applied it to my business, if I just kept stumbling forward, I would eventually get to where I needed to go, even if I fell off track, even if I fell backwards. I just had to get back up. I took the scale out of the equation. I took the sizes out of the equation. I took goals and dates out of the equation. And if people would have stopped wondering or assuming that all I wanted to do was lose weight, the reality is what I wanted to do was I wanted to be able to chase after my kids, and I wanted to live, and I wanted to make a better life. And I never really thought that we would be able to pull back out of it. I wanted to flash my resume in front of people and go, look at all these things I've accomplished in my life. But when I lost everything, I felt like somebody erased my resume. So when I came into Beachbody, you guys, we barely had internet on. We had one computer. My husband had to use it mostly. I had a phone that was rarely on, so I'd have to use it on Wi-Fi. And I just slowly started building this business kind of by accident. But it wasn't really an accident because I was living in the vital behaviors. And by living the vital behaviors, November I signed up of 2012. December of 2012, I accidentally hit Success Club, right? There were 3 people out there that needed my help, and it had nothing to do with my husband. And my very first coach I signed up was literally 1/4 my size, who was inspired by my journey. So let me just say this. Fit doesn't have a size, and I don't care where you are in your journey. Just because your coach is super, super fit with a 6-pack, I use Mary and I as an example all the time, does not mean that she doesn't understand your journey to have to lose 200 pounds. Everybody has a journey, and it's not determined by the size of your body or your 6-pack. Same thing on the other side. Well, I have to get more results in order for people to take me seriously. No, the power is in the journey. And so what came from all this, you guys, is that I started sharing my journey. It started becoming more and more open as I went. At this point, I still haven't told anybody I'm broken homeless. Like, this story did not come out for a long time. I was purely using social media, not to get customers, because I didn't get any customers. I used social media purely to document my journey. It was just a place to go. It was just a cheap, I barely could afford pens. You know what I'm saying? Like, my kids had one pair of shoes, and I remember my kid got a hole in it. I was like, oh my God, I'm not going to have the money to do that until next week, if I'm lucky, broke. To this day, I've never paid for a bag of Shakeology. That little investment that we made has completely changed our lives. And I know we don't talk about finances, but I'll tell you something. I will confidently know that there is someday, very soon, couple of years, whatever, I'm going to walk across that stage and be a part of that Millionaires Club. Am I making a guarantee? I'm making no guarantees. Beachbody makes no guarantees. Disclaimer, disclaimer, disclaimer. But you know why I believe that? Because I have other people that tell me what's possible. Not because they promised me, not because they misled me, not because they lead me by the money, but because other people are willing to share their journey and share what's possible. And as I progressed in my journey, I would hit another level, emerald. And then I'd see somebody else that hit diamond and go, oh, look what's possible. My mindset began to change. Beachbody told me that personal development was really important. I thought personal development was a bunch of hooky. Well, most of us who have negative mindsets and like living there will think that, because it challenges us to actually stop being a victim and start being responsible for our circumstances. And I realized motivation wasn't going to land in my lap. I literally was like this, the Grinch, of like, fix it, to my husband. And it's not magically fixing. Oh my gosh, I can sit around and complain with a whole plethora of people. But if I looked for positive people in my life, I had to search hard. But what became more important was, in order for me to find more positive people in my life, people who were doers, I had to start becoming that person, because I couldn't be the energy vampire. And I was such an energy vampire because I liked it, and misery likes company. I'm too busy. I'm too broke. There were plenty of people to talk about that with, but I had no one in my life that had something impactful to add, who's making change, until I came to Beachbody. Beachbody is the only company I've ever worked with that people were willing to share their answers. And the more successful other people became, whether they were part of your business or not in your downline or whatever, people were willing to share their answers and their stories and what was working for them. And I began to take those nuggets in. I will tell you, I was stuck in diamond. I just found out. We looked for 2 years, 1 month, and 14 days. And the only reason why I was stuck in diamond is because I wasn't doing the work to get to the next level. I wasn't talking about the coaching. I wasn't willing to commit to Success Club on a monthly basis. I wasn't willing to commit to rank, because I didn't honor and respect and understand what those markers meant, and what those markers meant to my life, and what that meant overall to a team of people who were willing to give their all to me. But I was required to do the work, because they were not going to drag me by my hand. I'm saying all this stuff to you because I fought Success Club, I fought rank, I fought staying in Success Club, in rank. I dropped, I came back, I dropped. I didn't want to talk about coaching. I didn't want to be pushy, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So only by the time this month ends, I'm sure we'll probably be at 100 SC points. And you might say, okay, well, she's a retail seller and cranks things up. No. I take really good care of my people. Somebody please ask me how I manage the number of people I bring in. Here's my answer. I'm not here to manage people. End of story. My job is not to manage people. My job is to give people a kick-ass experience and teach them how to get on their own 2 feet and be able to apply that in their life layer by layer by layer by layer. I don't manage people. That's not what my job is to do. I'm here to love on them and tell them I understand what you're going through, and I'm going to give you the tools that you need to do, but you need to do the work. And that was the thing that my coach told me. I wanted to get on the phone and complain about all the things that were going wrong with my life and why I couldn't do these things. And he literally told me, do this, and then we can get on the phone. And I went, you're an ass. And I went, oh, that makes sense. I have to respect his time. And I got to stop being this energy suck. So, you guys, this business took me a while to understand. It took me a while to get over my attitude. It took me a while to get over these things and grasp these things. But what I did was I started tapping into the different leadership in this company. And I grabbed a nugget. And those nuggets would present themselves exactly when they were supposed to. Why? Because I was ready to receive it, or I needed that information, or I was ready to go to the next level. But even though I got those nuggets, I knew that I was responsible to take action. I had a family that was hungry. My coach actually says this, and I'm going to paraphrase. He does it so much better than me. But I could not imagine looking at my kids again and saying, working hard today and taking care of myself, or working hard today to continue to build this business. You're not worth me doing that. You're not worth me working hard for. An analogy I use, for example, is the boulder. I always say it's like being on a 2-lane road in the middle of the desert, wide open all around you. 2-lane road, big boulder in the middle of the desert. If your kid was on the other side, or somebody was trying to snatch your kid, would you not figure out a way to get on the other side of that boulder? You would figure out how to blow it up, jump over it, put a cape on, walk around it, tunnel under it. You might get over that. You will figure out a way to get that boulder. You get over that boulder and your kid's still behind another boulder or 2 or 3 boulders. Would you not do everything that it would take to get on the other side of this boulders, to get to where you need to go, to take care of your kids? You would. I began to realize I was using my kids as an excuse instead of a reason. Is that me or someone else? So I began using my kids as an excuse instead of a reason. Again, all coming from personal development to realize that I was responsible for my actions. Here's the other thing I learned. I wasn't lazy. I wasn't unmotivated, and I didn't lack willpower. As a matter of fact, it was the opposite. My body shared my story and my struggle, and this body that got me through some difficult times and maybe put 150 pounds extra on my body was the exact same body that needed to get me to where I needed to go, was the exact same body that was going to be there for me in the mind that I needed to change to get me to begin to build this business. I built this business purely from my heart. I don't go get SC points. I receive SC points for helping people. It's just how I function in this business, you guys. So, I mean, there's a lot of things I can tell you. And because a lot of you guys didn't know my story, I went in that direction to kind of share my story and all this. And I will tell you, last year, when I saw Christina's video, I actually was one of those people that had to rebuild their team. I rebuilt my team, hit elite. My husband nearly died May 26th of last year. And we came together, rebuilt this business pretty much in about a 6-month span, and we hit number 66 in elite in this company. None of this was possible if I didn't go through the difficult times. And that was the other thing. I began to respect my difficult times as the greatest learning lessons in the world. And I think that our heart is broken so that we have the cracks so our light can shine through. I learned that from someone else, and I don't know where, but I wish I could give them credit. And I truly, truly, truly believe it's like, my husband loves telling this story, this it's kind of a joke or whatever it is. It's like, the flood's coming and, God, please save me, please save me. And the guy walks by and says, hey, I'll take you through. No, I got it. Guy comes by the boat. No, I got it. Helicopter comes by, let me save you. No, I got it. Guy dies in the flood. Goes up, to heaven. And like, hey, why didn't you come save me? He's like, what did you do with the boat and the helicopter, et cetera, et cetera? Like, all of this possibility and change was sitting in front of me, but I chose not to look at it or grasp it because being miserable was comfortable. I was comfortable being unsuccessful, unhappy, unhealthy. And when I began to realize that growth comes from discomfort and being uncomfortable, I embrace the shit out of that. I intentionally stay uncomfortable on a daily freaking basis. What I did in fitness, I began to apply to business. I told everybody about coaching. Everyone. I gave them an opportunity to say yes or no. But here's what I knew. That my coach didn't judge me off of my finances. He didn't judge me off of my looks. He didn't have other things that I was all the reasons why people couldn't be a successful coach, right? Those are the exact same freaking reasons why I am a successful coach. Now, let me correct something. Somebody said, well, the reason why you're successful is because you're fat. And I said, somebody needs to go tell the health and fitness industry this because they've clearly been missing it for the past 300 years. I am part of that 70%. I am what the CDC is talking about. But you know how I'm ending the trend? Because I am fighting to get out of it. That's what we set out to do. It's not her story or they're lucky they have 100 pounds to lose, or they just made it simple. It's all excuses, you guys. There are so many people in this world that need help, and because I'm willing to share my journey on a daily basis, the ups, the downs, the goods, the bad, I never leave a negative. I always come to a solution because I need that for myself. But there is somebody out there that's desperate for that message that day, and it is impossible. There are too many people that need help for us to sit back and be selfish and not be willing to share our lumps and our bumps. That's what we set out to do. I lead with my heart, but I use my brain in the business. I have boundaries. I have standards. I know how I can help people. I don't half coach people. I'm going to be totally honest with you. Some people, well, that's because you want the Shakeology sale. You know what? If you are following me based off of my journey and I inspire you, just so you know, the cornerstone to all this you see going on right now is that dense nutrition and that crazy bad. It is because of that. It taught me so much about myself. So I refuse to half coach people. And there are so many people who are coming to me now that I can only handle so many people a month because I stay raw and transparent and honest. People know I'm going to tell them the truth, whether they like it or not. But I will never come from a place that isn't from my heart. So there you go. Did I miss anything, Christina?
I'm like speechless. I'm like reading all the chat and everybody's like blowing up. Tulin, you are a light. You are an inspiration. I needed to share you to our team at this very moment. I think that the network needs you at this very moment, because you are why Beachbody is so important. You are it. And I appreciate, I honor you and your commitment to bettering yourself, because every day that you do that, you better us as a whole and personally. So I really, 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 what did your husband say? Or is that
no, it's Mary. Mary's back there because Mary's working behind me. Mary's crying.
By the way, Mary's her success partner.
You guys, I got to tell you something. The most beautiful thing about Beachbody is that when Christina asked me to be on this call, it was my opportunity to be able to give Christina back what she gave to me.
Aww.
That's Beachbody.
Look who's here. Look, Marnie, that's who's here.
Hi.
You see, she's like same hair.
Same hair.
Marley, just so you guys can laugh, Marley comes into the room, I smile at her, she goes, you have something in your teeth.
Oh.
I'm like, oh, great.
I love our kids.
Does anybody have any questions?
I love question and answer. Please hit me with question.
That's usually, we got the story. It's so freaking powerful. You guys, for real, if you weren't at that Super Saturday because you're a newer coach or whatever, go on to YouTube and Google Tulin Emre success story. I think it should pop up when you do that. Oh my God. I don't think I've cried so much at a Super Saturday than I did when I watched that video. So make sure you see it. But let's see any questions. Hold on.
Let's see.
Robin, I actually just saw Robin's question pop up. I have not scrolled and I love it.
Okay.
It's, what do you say to people who only want to be half coached or say, I don't want Shakeology? How do you approach that?
I asked them what drew them to me. What inspired you to reach out to me? Or if it wasn't drawn to me, like at that point when you're having a conversation, like what is it about this that we need to work together? And usually they'll list things like your journey or your weight loss or whatever it is. I'm going to be totally honest with you. This was my story. I'm not saying it's your story. I'm giving you an example of mine. Everything that you see, the cornerstone of that for me is Shakeology. Now, I don't know how you guys go about how you do your training. I'm not opposed to selling somebody a program, but I will tell you, I never have to just sell somebody a program. Ever. Because here's the deal, you guys. If they're coming to you or they're willing to listen to you, I ask them, are you willing to trust me? Or not, are you willing? I say, can you trust me for 30 days? Trust me for 30 days. And if I'm wrong, you can return it. I tell every single person I talk to about the return policy. I'm not afraid of a return. I'm not. I tell them how easy Beachbody makes the returns, that they don't even need my help to do it. But will you trust me for 30 days? Usually once I can get it in their hands and give them that experience, then you have to get it, right? You have to get it and experience it to get it. As long as I can make them make that happen. You guys, Beachbody isn't about sell. You'll come in, sell a bunch of people. If you don't know how to take care of people that you bring in, I don't believe this business can grow. You would just have to sell, but people would be falling off. We're residual income because we help people make a difference in their lives. In the dense nutrition, when I talk about the difference in my mindset and my nutrition and how I weigh it between when I eat poorly and when I eat something dense nutrition, there is not a better thing to weigh against than the Shakeology. So in my coaching group, it's required. Why? Because I get SC points. Listen, you guys, I am not hurting for SC points on a monthly basis. I can take people in with a program only, and it wouldn't affect my bottom line for my own personal sales. I do way more than fine in that area. But I will not half coach them. And so some people are like, hey, I want to bring in the program. Can I tell you, honestly, most people who say I'm not willing to, or they're not willing to get the Shakeology.
She's like, okay, get me a bag of chocolate and a bag of
Okay, get her a bag of chocolate.
She just wants the shakes.
She does. Oh, okay. Okay. So when they do that to me, the bottom line is usually that they're not willing to buy it.
Because I might just, because she said Brian wants to do it too.
Williams,
I'm not paying attention to it enough.
Let her keep talking. It'll be good. The reality is, it's not so much that they're not willing to buy the Shakeology. We haven't been able to show them the value and how it applies to their life. And really the actual problem is we're too afraid to tell them they need it. It's not that they don't want it. You're afraid to tell them they need it. Here's how confident I am about Shakeology. Do you know that I do not tell people what I think that they'll experience with Shakeology? Not once. You know what I tell them? I want you to try it, and it's more, I'm pretty confident I know what you will experience with it, but I want to hear it from you. Within a week of them taking Shakeology, they are telling me, at the 30-day mark of my initial coaching group, I actually have them write a letter to their day one self. And it is usually like, I can't believe I'm trusting this crazy woman online. I was totally intending on returning the Shakeology. It has changed your life, and how it is their words, not mine. I am so confident in the product, and that's the posture I take, you guys. Right now as a 270-some pound woman, because I've had a gain, oh no, hey, never went back to my 350 plus, right? I'm still on my journey. This is a spaghetti bowl. I am so confident in the product even when I have my struggle, because it's what I'm willing to go back to. It is the tool that I'm going to go back to. It is how I'm going to get back on track. As a matter of fact, if I really want to get in my glums, I'll avoid my Shakeology, because the Shakeology helps me so much. I'm like, now I have cravings. Now what? So I can't go into the mechanical, emotional eating. That's how much self-awareness it brought me. You are more afraid to ask them or tell them that they need it than they are willing to tell you that no, they don't want it.
Yeah, absolutely. And someone asked, like, how do you address the price objection? I think she just did.
Yeah.
I think it's just confidence in what you do, because you live it, breathe it, do it every single day. And I'll say, Tulin, the tip that you just gave of the letter to myself at the beginning of the group, that's money. If you guys didn't catch that, please. That was an awesome way. It's something also that Shay had taught me a long time ago, was to have them write down how they're feeling before they start Shakeology, so that they can become self-aware of the journey, and then 30 days in, they can address, you can have them do that exercise again. I actually veered away from that. I need to get back to that. So thank you for sharing that tip. I love Sylvia's question. And let me get, I don't know who was talking. That was funny. I don't know what they said. I don't even know if it was positive or negative.
It's all good.
Something about chocolate Shakeology. I'm not sure. She says, if I may ask a question, what changed? What was your aha moment from the drop, gain in rank, non-consistent success club stance to now? Like, what was that thing?
There wasn't one. There's not one. Aha moment is like magic motivation. There wasn't one. It's an evolution. It's many moments. It is so many moments. What are you going to say?
I was going to say it's doing the personal development on a daily, doing the Chalene Johnson work, the spending hours planning what you're going to be doing, backtracking, and but that's what all adds up to
it's you guys, it's a bunch of steps. So let me share this with you. In my groups, I work with non-scale victories. Okay, purely non-scale victories. Why? Yes, I do push with Chalene twice a year. Not as much anymore, but I did for a long, long time. Non-scale victories. Because so many people think that they need to get perfect in their eating, perfect in their working out, perfect in their mindset from the get-go. I'm not saying that's not the right way to go. Because if you go all in from the get-go, you are going to get the best results, right? But my girls have done that a lot. So what I get them to do is I just get them to start moving their body to music. I don't even mention dance. And I get them drinking Shakeology. We don't even touch the eating plan for 30, 60 days, sometimes 90 days. I'm probably closer to 90 days before I change their eating plan, start working on that. Why? because I work with them in layers. Remember I told you I did in fitness, I do in business what I did in layers. I worked this business in layers. So what would happen is that I would all of a sudden understand the importance of rank as an example, right? Like rank isn't important. People say rank doesn't matter, aren't working the business, okay? Because rank does matter. It's a tangible way to know that you're growing your business, right? But you shouldn't chase it, much like I receive SC, I don't go for SC, right? So what happened is maybe all of a sudden I heard something and realized that elite was kind of, not elite, I keep going elite because there's another elite. Emerald was kind of an important thing. I should get to emerald or diamond. I would get to that point and then I was ready to receive something and then I would hear a nugget from someone else. And I would go apply this nugget. Andrea Crowder said, she goes, I've been watching Tulin for a long time. And she goes, the thing I noticed about Tulin is she focuses on one thing and she goes all in with it and then she learns it, she moves on to the next. And I went, damn, Skippy, that is so true. I didn't even realize it. It took somebody looking from the outside looking in. And she's very, very right, you guys. I began to share my journey and that began to evolve. I began to grow my business with helping people getting challenge packs or whatever it is that they approach me. And I didn't start there, you guys. And then I went all in and I started to learn how to do that. And then I started understanding diamond and then the importance of diamond. And then I went in all in there. But all the other stuff I did before all played a role in that. Does that make sense? So it was a multitude of aha moments. The last aha moment I got was listening to a video from Christina about her journey to 15-star. I needed to hear that. Remember that? Dude, I watched that thing so many times. That was probably my most recent aha. So I find a nugget, and usually that nugget presents himself in an opportunity like this, and I go and I apply it. And then that takes me to the next level. So I don't have one aha moment. There are many aha moments. I don't believe you're actually going to have one aha moment.
Mm-hmm. That's for sure. I still, to this day, experience those kinds of moments in my business where a light bulb goes off, you know, and it's like, oh, I need to do that. And then I do it, and then it creates results. Yes. So 100% agree that you have to be in a position to receive the information. But you got to keep improving yourself you got to keep growing your mind, keep growing your ability to be more successful in order to receive information that's going to help you be more successful. Does that make sense?
100%. And for me this year, the big thing for me is leadership. I'm very focused on leadership and learning to be a better leader, leading from the heart, being very, very open and transparent. But right now, the thing that I'm figuring out is how to pop those diamonds. And I don't want to stay at diamond. I got 3 or 4 people on the verge of popping diamond. Doesn't matter, you guys, until they reach it, right? But this is the girl that stuck at diamond for 2 years. And now it's like I'm finally understanding how to find people and take them through the fitness journey and take them through this whole journey, you guys. I didn't sign them up yesterday and tomorrow they're diamond. I haven't found that person yet. I will get there through, Christina said on our call, she said, I want people to look at me and go, this is my last nugget actually, and it actually did come from you, because you go, that one, I'm going to work with her because of the way she presents her stuff. And that really struck a chord with me, because I want people to look at me and go, here are all these people I can work with, but her, that's the one. And you know, and so I think that's my next level of leadership. So I know it's an incredibly uncomfortable position for me. I'm going to add one more thing to it that Mary said. Mary and I's businesses don't touch each other, but we run a lot of things together. And she said in a team cup group that we have, we're running multiple team cup groups. And she said, and this really was so profound for me, she said, it is uncomfortable. And understand, Mary was like 6-figure earner in her executive position in the medical field, okay? She said, it is uncomfortable for Tulin and I, because you're asking them to share an area of an uncomfortable place that they were going to be willing to go in their business. And they kept giving these status reports. And Mary goes, no, not status report. What did you do today to make you uncomfortable? And Mary came back and said, it is uncomfortable for Tulin and I to push you towards your business goals. This is uncomfortable for us. I'm like, that is so true. I had coaches come back and say, I want you to get uncomfortable making me uncomfortable because of that statement.
That's a good point. I actually never thought of that. I think, yeah, it's easy to be comfortable with not trying to push someone to a point where they get uncomfortable. It's this catch-22. So, wow, that's a nugget for you guys. Yeah. Well, Tulin, I will let you go now, because we have a lot to digest. I'm sure everyone on this call can agree that this was a very powerful call and a very needed call at this very moment, especially as we close out. I'm going to ask you one more question though. As we close out February, unbelievably, March is right around the corner. Time is flying, but understanding that right now you are sitting at probably SC 100, which is mind-blowing and so inspiring to me. I don't compare myself to Tulin, neither should you. You compare yourself against the person that looks back in the mirror and try to beat that person every single month. But I would love to ask you, if right now you were sitting at SC3 because you sold that one all-access challenge pack and you were trying to hit Success Club this month, what would you be doing right now to make sure that that goal gets accomplished?
Here's an aha moment I had. I realized I had plenty of time to get it done, and I had plenty of conversations to go back and ask them yes or no. Do you want to move forward or not? And I promise it won't affect your business. I will tell you guys, I used Overcoming Objections, part 4 and 5 by Barbie Decker at the time, that you can find on it's from an old summit. It's she's Barbie Decker at the time, and it was Overcoming Objections, part 4 and 5. Go find it. I had that plugged in my ears, and I literally said, I would go back to people and go, hey, people who ghost or telling you how busy they are, et cetera, et cetera. I'm like, hey, look, I don't want to be that weird Beachbody coach. They're a weird person who keeps following up on you over and over again. Do you mind just letting me know yes or no? I promise I won't be upset, but just let me know yes or no so I don't just have this. I feel like I'm not, I feel badly that I'm not getting back to you in a timely manner. Reverse psychology. It's great. But you guys, there's plenty. I look at this right now. There is plenty of time right now to hit Success Club. There is plenty of time. If you believe that there's not, you're right. But I challenge you to get out of your comfort zone and go get freaking SC points. You are being selfish by not helping somebody else that is desperate to start that journey today. Make it bigger than you. Go receive it for opening your heart.
Receive those points. I absolutely love that. Go receive.
I'm still going for them. And my team's still going for them right now. Yeah. And I figured out how to get my team to start hitting SC. I just figured it out.
Well, that next week we'll have you come back and you're going to do that call. I kid. Tulin, I love you. Thank you so very much. You guys blow up Tulin's page. I posted before she jumped on the call that we were so excited. So blow that post up. We love you. Thank you. I'll share the recording to this call tonight, if not tomorrow morning. I love you, my friend. I can't wait to see you at Summit.
Yes, at Summit. And if you guys are around St. Louis or Montreal for Super Saturdays in April, I'll be at both of those.
And this is something, well, I'll spill the beans. I will spill the beans, but don't start talking about it, team. If you are in Miami, Tulin will be here with us in September. So I don't even know what day that is. Might be I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. But in September, Tulin will be coming down to Miami for Super Sunday. Wasn't it Super Sunday? Super Sunday.
North Carolina, and I think that's confirmed. I'm not sure, but for sure Miami. So
yeah. Yay! Ooh. Okay. All right, guys. Well, have a great night. Go receive Success Club. And Tulin, thank you. I love you. Talk to you later. Bye.